What's good? How your day going? Morning, evening, night, whenever you're watching this. Click that like button for me, though. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first saw this one pop up on my feed before, I think it was at the end of a video we watched too. I saw the thumbnail. I was like, dog, I ain't gonna lie, I wanna watch this one. The reason why, just looking at the thumbnail, I know, I ain't gonna assume because I don't know anything about the story. But I am kind of a little bit assuming because the name is Dede Moore. I take it this is Dede Moore. Kind of look a little shiesty to me. I could be wrong. But who knows? This could be Dede Moore. 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 Well, no, actually, this person came because they holding a ticket, so their name must be Abraham Lee Shakespeare, for real. But yeah, I don't know. I ain't gonna get into my family stories. I don't feel like talking about my family business today. This video may piss me off. I might tell y'all some shit. I don't know though. But yo, once you got the original video, link will be in the description below. But let's go.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video I have a story for you today that is very, you know what it is, it's very Shakespearean. And by that I mean, it's a hoot and a holler. Part, tragedy, and part comedy. It's very much like your man wrote it, and so therefore it's fitting that we have an actual Shakespeare in this old one. Abraham Shakespeare, that name might, ring-a-ling a few bells. But there's a lot more to this story than I thought anyway. See, he was extraordinarily lucky and extraordinarily unlucky at the same time. Abe here, he won the lotto, and then it's the usual horror story as everyone around him wanted a slice. They wanted a taste, including a woman named Dee Dee. She was just a little more thorough than the others. Let's give it a give.
This shit
Florida,
dirty.
Florida,
I know it.
Of course, come on, where else?
I already know it. My bad.
Florida, of course, come on, where else? Giddy up. Tampa, specifically, the whole story takes place around kind of the greater Tampa area. You know why? Because that is where Abraham Shakespeare lived. Before we get to Dee Dee, we gotta start with Abe. Who he? Something, kind of biblical about his name. And the people in the story certainly broke all the commandments, especially that important one about, I think it's like, don't be a shithead, something like that. But once again, before all that, let's talk 2006, because that is the year our Abraham Shakespeare, he won the lottery. He won the $30 million jackpot, electing to receive it all at once, a lump sum, so it was $17 million. That's a fair bit of money, alright. Abraham was born in 1966, growing up in Lakeland. I'm sorry,
I was pitching I won the lottery, my bad. Like, you hoes get up my picture, dog. You wanna fuck now, huh? Stop playing, look.
Abraham was born in 1966, growing up in Lakeland, in very poverty-ridden circumstances. He dropped out of school in the 7th grade, so when he was about 12 years old, and as a result, he was illiterate. He would work a number of odd jobs, including burglary, and he was jailed for a time. But by all accounts, he was, quiet, introverted, a humble dude, and that time inside made him a hard worker. He avoided booze, he avoided drugs, and he would have a child in 2000.
Hey.
In 2006, Abraham was 40 years old, and on a fateful day in November of that year, him and a co-worker, a Michael Ford, were driving towards Miami when they stopped off at a convenience store in Frostproof. There, Abraham asked his co-worker to get a couple of lotto tickets. As luck would have it.
That's crazy, dog. You know how lucky you gotta be just to, I don't know how to play the lottery. I don't know how to play the lottery. I always wanted to learn how. I ain't gonna lie, I want to play it here. Honestly, because it'd be looking fun sometimes. Gambling your money away, I know. But still, you know how lucky you gotta be to hit that? And I already know where the story about to go. I ain't gonna say nothing yet because I don't fully know, though. But what I'm thinking, though, are they both in on some shit? Or did he legit win it? But of course, everybody want to slice situations start going left. I don't know, let's find out.
Abraham asked his coworker to get a couple of lotto tickets. as luck would have it. He bought a $1 million mansion, $100,000 cars, Rolexes, and was generous with the, well, loads of people who came out of the woodwork looking for a taste. He would take big cruises with all his mates, holidays. His friends would, you know, hey man, here, listen, bit behind on my mortgage, would you mind? And he would. Michael Ford, the person who bought the tickets, would take Abraham to court, saying, no, he stole the tickets from me.
Damn,
the court would rule in Abraham's favor.
Money changes people so drastically, dog. It is, man, this shit is so scary. I'd have cut you a piece. If I ain't gonna lie, I'd have been honest. If you went there and bought me a ticket and I hit 12 million after tax, I'd cut you a piece. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I know it's easier said than done. I would legit, cause I don't want no smoke. Look, I'm up, I'm good now. Life is good now. I'm about to change the shit out of my life, and so many people around me now. You did buy the tickets. I understand. I'd be mad as hell too if I went and I bought some tickets, especially if I paid for them, and then you hit and you don't want to cut me in. But that's different. That's bullshit to say though. No, he took them from me. Who the hell just take people lottery tickets? I ain't never heard that. Unless he's saying he took it after he won, cause that could have been a possibility. But just, you know, I was talking about earlier though. Like, but you know what?
Oh, no. He stole the tickets from me. The court would rule in Abraham's favor. When you look at the story at this point, it's kind of like, you know, you hear those horror stories all the time, right? Guy wins lotto, 2 years later, he's back, you know, working at McDonald's or something. He pisses the money away. That was sort of happening here with Abraham. But also, as it went on, again, a horror story of people who come into, you know, lots of wealth. Abraham was becoming increasingly depressed because he didn't have any friends. People were calling him 24/7. You know, looking to hang out and looking for handouts. He could.
Oh yeah, because people just using them, man. This story about to get so damn ugly. I thought you about to say he was basically trying to, kind of is still doing that though, just paying people to be my friend, because it's like shit, I ain't got no real friends. You hit the lotto for that much, dog. You know how many friends you about to get now? Damn, that shit crazy. Money is crazy.
Calling him 24/7. You know, looking to hang out and looking for handouts. He couldn't trust that anybody was genuinely, you know, wanted to be friends with him, or were just looking, you know, just viewing him as a cash cow. That's the way it seemed. Everybody around him was suddenly acting like that, apart from his mother. And that, you know, $17 million. It would have lasted longer if he set it on fire. Less than 2 years after he won, he was down to his last million.
I really would like my old life back where I could walk the streets like a normal person, but got people coming up asking for money.
And it was then, around 2008, that Abraham was approached by a Doris Dede Moore. She initially approached him to write, you know, a rags to riches story, and how, maybe, it's not always greener on the other side. But hey, I'd rather cry in my Ferrari, you know what I mean? But soon, and I mean, real soon, she became his financial advisor. See, she herself, you know, had come from, you know, small, whatever, you know, and made it big. And she wanted to write a book to inspire others. While she was discussing this with a friend, they mentioned Abraham. They'd sold him his mansion, and he had an interesting story also. When introduced, Dee Dee was shocked that nearly all of his fortune was gone. What's left for me? She thought. Like I said, Abraham, he left school early, so he didn't really have much of an education, and especially not when it came to, you know, finances, money stuff, like how to make sure your money doesn't get pissed away. So Dee Dee, you know, a successful businesswoman, she said, here, I'll give you a dig out. I'll help sort out your money, you know, help invest, all that sort of stuff, so you'll never have to worry again. She became his financial officer, advisor, whatever. And so he trusted her. And when it started, she did really help him out. She did go to work. She helped him invest in the right places and the right assets. She started going after people, you know, that he had initially, you know, loaned people some money, and these people obviously never had any intention of paying it back to Abraham. So she would go after these people, making sure the money came back. So people, you know, around the...
This shit's scary because this shit is so real, dog. Remember I told you my life story how I upped into some money, man. my stepbrother got got drafted to the NFL. That was when my life changed when I moved to Texas. I've been around so many celebrities I heard talking ish. I ain't saying no names. That I hear them say, man, my financial advisor did this, or my so and so did this, ran off with this much. Man, my brother did this. My cousin. I hear it all the time. I heard it all the time to the point where it got scary. 'Cause I'm like, man, these are like really important people though. Usually when your money is low, you'll have people getting over on you, but it's usually like you gotta watch out for the common shiesty person that you know in the neighborhood type of situation. But when people get money, it's scary how it's like, nah, watch out for the people that know what they doing. Watch out for when they do it, because they don't take just a little bit, boy, they go with chunks of it. And it be so many ways they be getting away with it. I ain't gonna tell you this story, dog. Nigga. Oh my gosh, dog, my brother bought a Phantom, right? Let me not tell you this story, dog. I'm about to tell you that shit, I think, dog, cause it's nothing bad on his end. He got screwed over big time. I might tell you at the end. May not. I don't want you to stick around. You get to the end and it's not there, and you be mad like he clickbaited me, because I'm not doing that. I legit don't know if I'm gonna tell you at the end. Don't fast forward my shit to the end and see if I tell it neither, because if you do that, I'm gonna know you did that and I'm gonna cuss your ass out. All right. But anyway, go back, because this is crazy. He legit want a normal life back. We're gonna talk a little bit more at the end, because I don't want to talk too much. It's scary as hell to me when I be seeing that shit, because the grass it always does seem green on the other side.
The right places and the right assets. She started going after people. You know that he initially loaned people some money, and these people obviously never had any intention of paying it back to Abram. So she would go after these people, making sure the money came back. So people, around the area, in the circle, they started seeing Dede Moore a lot more, as she became known to them. And it was around that time that they also started to see Abraham Shakespeare a lot less.
To build customer delight, you need...
On the 9th of November 2009, a cousin of Abraham's contacted the police, reported him missing. Abe hadn't been seen since April 2009. Anything to do with Abraham, money, repayments, was now being done through Dede. And people wondered, and they worried.
What the...
And the investigation began.
Have you seen this millionaire? His name is Abraham Shakespeare. This is him being interviewed after he won a $30 million Florida jackpot.
We first received information from a confidential source and confirmed it through some family members that, by the way, no one's seen Abraham since April the 7th. We initially thought maybe he left because he was tired of people tugging at him all the time.
Which makes sense.
But as the investigation goes on, we've been through Christmas and New Year's. He's had absolutely no contact with his mother and his 8-year-old son, which we understand he loves dearly. We suspect the worst.
Do I think that you're a cold-blooded killer? No, I hope you're not a cold-blooded killer.
I have not killed him.
I hope he's not even dead.
He's not.
I honestly can't look at you and believe a word that's come out of your mouth. You have lied and lied and lied.
So, who exactly was Dede? Well, a con artist, a big one, and she was a native of Plant City.
Funky ass. I knew it. I knew that was Dede Moore.
Plant City is about half an hour due east of Tampa. About 40,000 people live there, largely rural enough, a lot of strawberries there. They even have a festival. Hey, I booked my tickets, and in 1972 it was the birthplace of our Doris Dede Donegan. She had a happy little childhood in Plant City. She was in the Girl Scouts, she was a cheerleader.
Like she bite. This shit is weird, dog.
She had a happy little childhood in Plant City. She was in the Girl Scouts, she was a cheerleader. A lot of what you think is maybe the, idyllic, all-American childhood.
It's pretty adventurous stuff.
Lame. That's what Dede thunked, as she was like, F this S, I'm Audi 5000. She didn't come from a wealthy family. Something she realized when she started in high school. But she wanted to, and she wanted to be out of there making the big bucks. Shove that up your strawberry. Success. After high school, she went on to study to become a a nursing assistant because she said she wanted to help people. She said she lied. Well, see, this part is odd because it's so at odds as to what Dee Dee will later become. She got her nursing assistant certificate in 1991. And you know, she was described, she was generous, she would help people with bills, she would help people with money. It's like, what happened? In 1992, she married James Moore, and it seemed to have been a happy enough marriage to welcoming a child in 1995, Robert. It seems Dee Dee remained a nursing assistant for about a decade before she started looking up. She wanted to be a businesswoman. And she began a string of businesses, right? None of which would be successful. Off to a great start. She worked as a saleswoman for Nextel, right? They sold phones back in the day. You know, that rad flip shit? That. She had her own business. All about cellular. And she also worked for a couple of multi-level marketing companies.
My bad, go back. The chirp call was taking me back to high school. Alright, nigga, you got a dime, nigga.
Off to a great start. She worked as a saleswoman for Nextel, right? They sold phones back in the day. You know, that rad flip shit? That.
No, I got a nick. No, I'm dumb. Stop playing, dog. This shit is sick.
None of which would be successful. Off to a great start. She worked as a saleswoman for Nextel, right? They sold phones back in the day. You know, that rad flip shit? That. And she had her own business. All about cellular. And she also worked for a couple of multi-level marketing companies, Mary Kay being one. And to go along with her string of, businesses, she had a string of arrests. In 1999, she was arrested for shoplifting. In 2001, she bought a car. She couldn't keep up the repayments. She signed a couple of phony checks, but avoided prison time, 12 months probation for her.
Damn.
She was then arrested later on for insurance fraud and for falsely reporting a crime. See, get a load of this. Remember the car I just mentioned that she bought and she couldn't keep up the repayments on? Well, what happened is, to get out of this, she thought, right? She tied herself up and threw herself in a ditch. Then when a car drove by, she flagged them down and said that she had been kidnapped, she had been sexually assaulted, and it was done by these 3 Hispanic men who stole her car. They had held her at gunpoint the entire time. She went to the hospital, she went to the rape crisis center, and the police, started up this big investigation. And then a couple of days later, this guy, hearing about this investigation and this horrible incident, he was like, yeah, that car's on my property. And Dede Moore paid me $500 to just hold on to it. Police quickly realized she hadn't been kidnapped, she hadn't been attacked, and that she just hid in her car to avoid it being repossessed. So, strangely, she'll do a lot worse. That same year, in 2001, her landlords filed suit against her and her husband James for not paying rent. She told the landlords that people were after her. Specifically, who was after her? The non-existent kidnappers, perchance? No.
Some people, I'll be so glad. I just don't want to know certain people. I don't want to be cool with certain people. Man. You could just bump into this person and friend this person. That shit crazy, dog. Hell no.
Specifically, who was after her? The non-existent kidnappers, perchance? Not this time. It was an ex-Nextel employee that she had just fired. And after she fired him, well, this guy, he did not like that. He went onto her property, onto her lawn, and he set his contract on fire. What a mad lad. She said she was now scared. She couldn't, she just couldn't pay rent because she was being, harassed and stalked by some scary guy. And there's no proof of any of this. No one witnessed this.
That nigga got another job the next day. Stop playing.
Some scary guy. And there's no proof of any of this. No one witnessed the story she told. They were kicked out. Around this time, she owed her landlord $3.5 grand and a radio station $20 grand. She had bought ads to sell the cell phones. So she declared bankruptcy, the good old get-out-of-jail-free card, in 2004. Then she created a new company. Maybe this one will make me rich. This was called American Medical Professionals, LLC. They were a nursing staff agency.
Oh, shit, no.
It genuinely was successful enough. She was raking in about $200 grand a year. But Dee Dee, of course, she couldn't resist being a con artist. And it's not like she was doing it out of desperation. She was earning, decent, quite good money. She was just addicted.
It's the mental, dog. I'm telling you.
Addicted to fucking people over.
Yep.
She loved, having the last laugh. See ya, suckers.
We seen that happen many times. Like, you got all the money you was trying to get out of the situation. That ain't what you want. This shit is sick. This shit is all in your head. That's why.
Fucking people over. She loved, having the last laugh. See ya, suckers. Ultimately, in this one, she won't have the last laugh. For example, in 2006, a couple gave her $60,000 that Dee Dee was supposed to help use to set up their company. Of course, she pocketed it. This Simpsons joke, that's her whole life.
Now give it back. Give what back?
She never faced charges in that one, lack of proof, so of course she kept doing it. Over the next few years, companies came, companies went, until then, of course, she met our Abraham. See, Dee Dee had a very high opinion of herself. She's quite narcissistic, as I suppose probably all con artists are, and she saw herself as a rags to riches story. So she wanted to write a book. Feel good, inspirational, you can do it too. Hey, all you have to do is, lie, rob, swindle, fuck people over, and you can be rich like me. So as I said, she wanted to write a book about herself, and a friend introduced her to Abraham as another rags to riches story, and eventually she took over his life.
Man, she probably was a motherfucker running big connect.
Derek, how are you?
I'm doing great. Nice to see you.
Pleasure to see you, man.
Big ol' neck. Oh, man, I bought into that shit. I should have knew once I saw that. Like, nah, give my money back. Big ol' neck. Some of y'all might not know what I'm talking about, but don't worry about it. Oh, my gosh.
As another rags to riches story, and eventually she took over his life. She was divorced by this stage, living in Abe's house, the mansion, and the police went to speak with her. Dee Dee told the police she had bought the house from Abraham. And not just that, most of his assets too were now in her name. And he had gone into hiding because he was just so sick of people, trying to get his money. He ran away, probably sipping on margaritas in the
house
Caribbean.
to his family.
And she showed the police. He had signed documents and all, showing that he had essentially left her in charge and she now owned, all his shit. It was either in her name or Abraham Shakespeare LLC's name. And of course, Dee Dee was in control of Abraham Shakespeare LLC. He had also signed her over, to power of attorney, essentially, so she had control of his entire life. But most importantly, out of all of this, Dee Dee, she didn't know where he was now. She was like,
he just
racking my brains.
Because he wanted to pretend that he was dying of AIDS so that he doesn't have to pay child support and people won't look for him if he's dying of AIDS.
The police spoke with everybody who knew him and no one had seen him. They had heard he was on a cruise. Oh, or maybe he was in Jamaica. No, it was Miami. Actually, I heard Barbados. Everyone had heard something different about where Abraham Shakespeare was today. But they had all heard it from Dee Dee. So this lasted a few weeks, and the police realized nothing made sense. Abraham would be on his phone 24/7. All day long, going through his phone records to see if they could find some clue. Because people were calling him all the time. That was until the 6th of April 2009, and then it stopped. Suddenly, just suddenly, it stopped without warning. All communication. They also noticed that that day, Dee Dee and Abraham were texting each other from the same location. Later, on the 27th of December 2009, someone called Abraham's mother claiming to be Abraham. And obviously, as his mother, she realized that was not him who called her. But this guy was, hey, I'm Abraham. Of course I am. I'm alive. I'm all good.
Well,
don't worry about me. You don't need to look into it. It's fine. The number was traced and it tracked down. And it led to a guy. Not Abraham, shockingly. It led to a guy named Greg Smith, who told the police that Dee Dee had paid him $5,000 to call Abraham's mother, pretending to be Abraham. Damn. The police explained the situation and he agreed to help out the police with whatever they needed. Later, Dee Dee was named a person of interest in the disappearance, possible murder of Abraham Shakespeare.
Now, she says she too cannot find him. Sheriff Judd isn't buying it.
This shit is crazy.
She was
all because something happened that you think. And a lot of times it does make people's life better. A lot of people do change their life around. A lot of people are financially smart. And I know the media love to paint money as like this evil thing. If you get a lot of it, then you're just an evil person. That's not always the case. Cut it out. But shit like this is real though, dog. You get some people who get it like, nah, I don't even want it. Because you see here, everybody around you got so many friends now. Wow. That shit crazy. It legit turned into Facebook. Like, damn, you got like Facebook number friends. You know, you got like hella people that you friends with. I don't know if you still use Facebook. I don't know. I still use it. But look, you had like 4,000-5,000 friends. Like, bro, I know like 5 of y'all personally. That's crazy. Hold up. 1, 2. My bad. I had to go ahead and resync real quick.
Later, Dee Dee was named a person of interest in the disappearance, possible murder of Abraham Shakespeare.
Now, she says she too cannot find him. Sheriff Judd isn't buying it.
She was texting from Abraham's cell phone to her cell phone and to other people's cell phone, giving the illusion that it was Abraham.
How do you know she has his cell phone?
She told us.
And she told you she did the texting?
Yes, because she was creating the illusion for him to stay hidden.
In the only interview she has given, Dede Moore told the Lakeland Ledger she believes Abraham Shakespeare is still alive.
I think that he'll pop up if he realizes how the extent of what level this investigation has went to.
Then she began to cry as she complained about the police search of her home and car.
You mean his home?
What else can they do to me? They've turned my life inside out.
Dee Dee then contacted Greg again a few days later and asked him, hey, just by any chance, you know anybody who'd be willing to take the rap for murder, mainly? He said, yeah, I know a guy who's gone to prison anyway, so,
what?
Cough it up. We can sort this out. But he said, you need to tell me everything, because I have to make this, believable to the cops, right? So he found an undercover cop.
These cops are trying to frame me for killing Abraham. I really didn't kill the man. What do you want?
50 grand.
Okay. Can I do it in payments? You're
Hell
gonna be
no.
a legend, and you're gonna be in a book, and probably on the Oprah show.
After she thought she found someone who would take the fall, a few days later, she gave Greg the murder weapon.
Do I look like I want to go to Oprah? You know what I thought this was? I thought it was, I don't know if y'all saw this one. It was one I saw. This girl was in the car, when I say manipulative as shit, dog. She was in the car, and she was like a younger girl, and she was buying a hitman to do her husband, whatever, boom, boom. But low-key, I think he ended up telling, which ended up saving his life. So basically, he found out and kind of let her know, like, oh shit, what was going on? And she was, oh my god, I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about. And I think it was Florida too. I could be wrong. I forgot what it was. But man, when I say this one was crazy, dog. I thought at first I'm like, oh shit, this ain't her, is it? But nah.
After she thought she found someone who would take the fall, a few days later, she gave Greg the murder weapon and led him to where the body was.
Came into the newsroom within the last 2 hours. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office says the human remains found yesterday do belong to the missing lotto winner Abraham Shakespeare. Big break in the case came earlier this week when a tipster told them to check out a home off East State Road 60 in Hillsborough County. When detectives arrived at that home, they started digging in nearby woods, and they finally zeroed in on a 30 by 30 foot concrete slab yesterday. Now, they brought in heavy digging equipment, and after ripping apart that slab, they found Shakespeare's remains. An autopsy earlier today helped investigators confirm their suspicions in this case. And the home
Of course, when Dee Dee took over Abraham's finances, she instantly made sure that was her money as quickly as she possibly could. She was, this is mine. Literally 2 months after meeting him in January 2009, she transferred $250,000 of his money to her company, American Medical Professionals. They had debt. She bought herself cars, formed accounts in his name, forged his signature, formed Abraham Shakespeare LLC, and then had him removed from all accounts.
Dang.
She kept busy, I'll give her that. What else did she do? Basically, she had everything.
That's all she know.
In March, after Abraham tried to go to the bank and withdraw some money, and he couldn't, he started to become very concerned about her and what was going on with all his money. He didn't even know where it was.
Wait, let me see something.
Shakespeare LLC, and then had him removed from all accounts. She kept busy, I'll give her that.
Make sure I heard this right.
What else did she do? Basically, she had everything. In March, after Abraham tried to go to the bank and withdraw some money, and he couldn't, he started to become very concerned about her and what was going on with all his money. He didn't even know where it was. In early April, she filmed this video. This was to make it look like, you know, he planned on running away, that he was hating everyone.
Do you get tired of people asking you for money all the time, Abe? Give me your opinion on it.
He should say bitch.
I've been tired a year ago.
You just ready to start living your life, huh?
They don't take no for an ounce or so. And just let them keep on and keep on acting.
He right. They'll steal it too.
And just let them keep on and keep on acting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So where do you want to go to?
It don't matter to me. I'm not a picky person.
California?
Away from your monkey.
You want a foreign country?
Ready?
Cozumel?
Ready?
Yep. Well, how do you like, are you going to miss your home?
Yep, I miss it, but life goes on.
And then, oh yeah, she killed him. And she would show people this video, you know, being like, here, he clearly was going out of town. He's probably going to California or something, you know. He talked about it. At one point, she approached the mother of Abe's son, offering her a $200,000 home if she told the police she had seen him recently. The day after she killed him, her and Abraham were supposed to go to a meeting. And when he didn't...
I don't think she cared that people know she's a con artist. I really don't.
The day after she killed him, her and Abraham were supposed to go to a meeting.
You got some balls to go to that...
He talked about it. At one point, she approached the mother of Abe's son, offering her a $200,000 home if she told the police she had seen him recently.
But let's see where this goes.
The day after she killed him, her and Abraham were supposed to go to a meeting. And when he didn't show up, she told the other people he had an accident with a sex worker and had to go to hospital. That's all. And he was never seen again. She then had her ex-husband, James, dig a hole for her in another mansion she bought with Abe's money. He didn't know he was digging a grave. And when he filled it in with concrete, he didn't know there was a body in there. So when, on the 25th of January 2010, she brought Greg Smith and showed him where the grave was, he immediately told the police. Abraham was positively identified. He'd been shot twice in the chest. A later search of her office would find blood on the carpet, where she had shot him. Likely what happened is Abraham, he went to her office in her home, confronted her, and she shot him dead. After that, you know, the body's been found. Dee Dee, surprisingly, she contacted the police because she had a story to tell. She said she didn't kill him, but she knew who did.
It was a drug deal that went bad, and the guy's name is, I just found it out.
Oh, you scared me, girl. Hold up. My bad, I had to get something done real quick. But look, though, I thought she was going to say Greg's, I thought she was going to say Greg, blah. The reason why, because when I was like earlier, when she set him up, obviously I know she set him up. She paid him to let him know that she was setting him up, obviously. My bad, let me turn my phone off. But I was thinking she was going to do it in a way where he's thinking like, yeah, we about to do this where I'm going to get paid and I can kind of fight it because I know what's going on. But she was going to do something where it's like, nah, you think I told you everything correctly, but actually I reversed it even like this. So now it's just going to fall on you heavy and you really going to look like the person who killed him. So that's why I thought she was. That's why I was like, oh, she set him up. Obviously, I know she set him up, but I was thinking like in that way. So, you fell for my evil plan. You fell for my evil plan.
Did.
No more stuff.
She said she didn't kill him, but she knew who did.
It was a drug deal that went bad, and the guy's name is, I just found it out.
Did you know I'm not the one that shot him? I wouldn't hurt.
Then who did, Dee Dee? Tell us.
See, according to her, Abe was involved in some drugs business. Things went wrong and yada yada yada, they killed him in front of her. She was terrified. It was like when the guy burned paper on her lawn. So that's why she didn't go to the cops.
And it's time for you to tell the truth. Plain and simple. You can't keep spinning lies. You can't keep throwing everybody and their brother underneath the bus.
Because everybody and their brother had something to do with it. One of those people had something to do with it because one of those people knows. They're
throwing everybody and their brother underneath the bus.
Because everybody and their brother had something to do with it. One of those people had something to do with it because one of those people knows. Because those are the people that wanted money out of him, Greg.
Dee, the person who knows is you. The one of the persons out of all this that knows is you. Okay? You're the one who had the hole dug. You're the one who had the body put there. It's your property. All the money's in your name. Everything's you. Okay? The only person who's going to answer questions here is you. End of story. Okay? Nobody here has lied except for you.
Because you don't believe me.
Because you lied. Because I don't believe your lies.
Because I've had to lie because you don't go and look out. Nobody
You
else.
haven't.
You don't listen.
You're the only one here lying because you don't believe me. You hear that sound?
Because you don't believe me.
Because you lied.
And tried.
Because I don't believe your lies.
Because I've had to lie because you don't go and look out. Nobody
You
else.
haven't.
You don't listen to me.
You haven't had to lie, Dee Dee.
Yes, I have.
No, you have not.
I have had to rely profusely because you don't believe me. You don't believe me.
I don't believe you because they're lies. How can I believe lies? You lied because I don't believe you. That makes no absolute sense
What
at
I
all.
just said.
I didn't
What I
believe
just
you
said.
because they were lies. I have ran so many bullshit lies and little things, rabbit holes, as my partner here likes to talk about. I've ran through all of these. It is getting pathetic.
So far, all the shit you've given us isn't panning out.
Because I didn't know their name and I kept telling y'all that.
There,
And
you're putting a plural, their name. Is it one person, 2 people, 12 people? I mean, I think tomorrow we're probably going to get a phone call about 10 o'clock in the morning saying, guys, I really want to come in and talk to you. This time I'm going to tell you the truth.
I've told you the truth
we're having a
at the
party,
beginning
and there's 40 people
At
down
the
my office,
beginning?
and the cake going.
Hang on, hold on. At the beginning?
I don't know. I could be wrong though. It could be, but it does seem like this interrogation is a little unprofessional because it seems like. But I don't know. They could be at that point because when you watch JCS, I don't know if you watch them. They get to they kind of have a little stage they go through. You'll start to pick up and notice what they're doing. Maybe they're at that stage where it's like, forget it. We know, she know, we know. We don't care what she say. But it's like, dude, everybody's just talking to everybody. It's like you might as well just put a beer in everybody's head at this point. Now to be 100% honest, we're gonna let the video finish because I don't know 100%. We've heard these stories. We've seen these stories happen before. Like we're watching now, where people get on that other side where they thought the grass was green and they're like, bruh, I don't want it at all. I just want to go back. I get that. I'm not saying that's not what happened, but I'm sorry. Nothing about her says, hey, I'm innocent to me. You're going to have your opinions. That's cool. So far, with me being 25 minutes in, still got 5 minutes left, that can change. But I'm sorry. Nothing about what she's said or done so far is saying to me, hey, I'm possibly innocent.
I mean, I think tomorrow we're probably going to get a phone call about 10 o'clock in the morning saying, guys, I really want to come in and talk to you. This time I'm going to tell you the truth.
I've told you the truth
we're having a
at the
party,
beginning
and there's 40 people down my office, and the cake going.
Hang on, hold on. At the beginning, you told us the truth?
You threatened to.
Hold on, let's go back to the beginning. Abraham's alive, and I talk to him all the time, and I text him, and he calls me back. There's the beginning. That was the beginning for 2 goddamn months.
They let her go while they awaited the arrest warrant.
Local Live and First on West, defiant, tearful, and claiming she's not a killer.
Now, the woman linked to the death of a local lotto winner, Abraham Shakespeare, is speaking out.
Because the media will not leave, and this is an intrusion on all my neighbors, and they don't deserve any of this.
Dede Moore started with one message, but quickly shifted gears when asked about the murder of Abraham Shakespeare.
Because I have never hurt that man. He knows everyone knows I would never hurt that man in any way.
Did you murder Abraham Shakespeare?
Absolutely not. And I would
Dede,
not do that.
you indicated you know who pulled the trigger.
I have given all the information to the sheriff's department. With the situation and how it went down, I wouldn't believe myself. I would say, lock her up. I would. Because But there's always two sides to every story. There's always more to any situation. God up above knows I didn't shoot that man, and
There's
that is
three
the
sides.
only person I have to answer.
There's three sides to every story. There's yours, there's theirs, and then there's the truth. All the time, trust me. But hey, what I know, I'm hot.
But there's always two sides to every story. There's always more to any situation. God up above knows I didn't shoot that man, and that is the only person I have to answer to.
They got the...
That's from a movie, by the way. Calm down.
I didn't shoot that man, and that is the only person I have to answer to.
They got the arrest warrant on the 2nd of February, and she was charged with first-degree murder. She pleaded not guilty. She and her defense kept up with the drug dealer story. She went on trial in 2012. While she didn't testify, she did make a scene. A couple of times.
Ms. Moore, I'm going to tell you once again, you need to compose yourself. Do you understand that? We're not going to go back and forth. You need to compose yourself, and I'm about to give you time to do that and to speak.
See how she's trying to persuade and make people believe shit like what's really not happening? I'm sorry, dog. This is bullshit. You're a little too extra on the sauce for me.
We're not going to go back and forth. You need to compose yourself, and I'm about to give you time to do that and to speak to your lawyer, at which time y'all will make a decision about how you approach your cross-examination.
Detective David Clark testified Moore got so desperate after he caught her in another lie that she offered to have sex with him.
She told me that she could get a free room at the Hard Rock Casino and her perform sexual acts on me. She actually came toward me and she said that I wasn't going to get angry, that I was going to have sex with her. She said she was very attracted to me and hoped once her name was clear that I would pursue a relationship with her.
I've told you before, it's not in your...
Dede Moore nearly got thrown out of the courtroom for making faces during testimony.
Wow.
Ms. Moore, I've cautioned you throughout these proceedings, and any gestures, facial expressions, audible comments...
See, and this is bull because this is this person's rush. Like I said, man, we never just understand. You'll never understand everyone's brain. Like, bro, everyone is different. Like, this is this person's rush. By the decisions she make every damn day, and I hate to go in preach mode, you know... These are your possibilities every day. You gotta lie to get out of situations because you looking like the bad guy that you want so bad people to believe you. I don't understand it. Like, it's like you just wake up in the morning like, oh, what I'm gonna do today? Because do the day that's gonna put me in this situation because that's what you live for. It ain't the money. You got the money. Money was on the road, but now you still have to keep doing what you was doing because this is your lifestyle, man. I'm telling you, though, I got an uncle who would con you out of your socks, kid. You're not. I'm gonna tell you some shit at the end. It for me, it wasn't even nothing big. I mean, I was young though, so it was big for my age. But the fact that you still did it, it's like man, this shit crazy.
Ms. Moore, I've cautioned you throughout these proceedings, and any gestures, facial expressions, audible comments showing approval or disapproval are not acceptable.
Dede Moore was treated in
always
the
the victim.
infirmary
Always.
after she complained about pain from her leg restraints.
I had an anaphylactic, sorry, my tongue. I had an anaphylactic shock.
It's been reported to the court that you may have engaged in conversations that could be construed as threats to witnesses in this case. Accordingly, you are now being excluded from these proceedings. You'll go outside where law enforcement will have an opportunity as appropriate to interview you. Now step out. I want you to talk to her again. You are to compose yourself. That is to stop. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
She was found guilty
He
of...
said step out, but I think we heard the same. Now get the...
first-degree murder. Mandatory life in prison.
State of Florida versus Doris Donegan Moore.
Stone-faced, unlike past tears or smiles.
The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder.
I thought she was roasting
She maintains her innocence to this day. Really was one of the bigger con artists I think I've seen. Kind of pieces of shit. She would swindle anybody and everybody out of their last dime, not caring about anybody or the future.
Yep.
And she didn't give a shit about her actions or who it affected the entire time. She was a true sociopath in that way. There was no end game in sight for Dee Dee. You know, as soon as she had used up Abraham's money, she would just find her next
person.
The next poor bastard, scamming them out of money, hard-earned or no. In an interview with ABC, she was still completely delusional. or just, you know, responsibility? Not for me. Actually, earlier on when I said she wouldn't have the last laugh, it actually turns out I'm wrong.
Did you bury him in your backyard?
Absolutely not.
Why are you laughing?
Because
a man is dead. He's been murdered, clearly.
Yes.
And you're laughing.
Yep. Because I find it entertaining that people are that ignorant.
God knows I'm innocent.
Yeah, people are.
There's one person that knows I'm innocent.
I think people are complete idiots that think I had anything to do with it.
Although this is still pretty funny.
These are witness statements. You understand
These
that?
witnesses don't exist, and that certainly looks like your handwriting.
What do you mean
That looks like your...
What the fuck? I hope he's assuming. I'm gonna let you know now. When I tell you my little Uncle Connor story, his shit gonna look like sand to the beach compared to hers. I ain't gonna a grain of sand compared in the beach compared to hers. No, this is a real one. His was just like you just a shiesty ass drunk. She said, "What you mean, nigga? Hell no, my partner wrote." Oh my gosh. Oh my God, yes, I'm definitely telling you on my story at the end, cause that shit gonna look like pie, poo, messed up, but whatever. This is crazy, dog. And look how she's just looking with the cat face. You know when you get caught with something, like, who, me? She definitely making that face. Who, me? Yeah, you idiot.
Exist, and that certainly looks like your handwriting.
What do you mean
That looks like your handwriting. What you said were witnesses' notes. Looks like your handwriting.
Thank you so much for
take me back to my cell, dog.
Enjoyed it, at least some of it, maybe. Here, I'll see you as always real soon in the next old video. Until then, please, as always.
I'm sorry. Rest in peace to bro. Rest in peace. Definitely not laughing at you, bro. Man, you went through some. You came up and went through some shit. I'm laughing at her. Hey, I don't care what you say, dog. She sounded like she was cuckoo. Now look. The thing is this that was getting me, because I'm not gonna lie, it was some points I'm like, man, that's a possibility though. It could have happened. She could be telling the truth, but then she'd go back and start telling the story and just contradicting the hell out of herself. I'm like, and then the stories don't even add up. You're like, no, this is not even making sense. And legit got to taking everything from bro, even taking everything out of his name, whatever. So let's say I would think I could be wrong though, but I would think someone with some common sense like, you know what? Since I'm done with this. Cause he on the video part when he said it himself, when he was like, I just want to go back to living a normal life on the street, whatever, blah blah blah. That seems so sincere. Like I believe that. So let's say if I really want to do that, I could. If that's the case, because he had a daughter, right? Wouldn't I just pass all the money off to them, whatever? And then I just vanish and said, but maybe if I put the money on them, I don't want to send people their way, whatever. But then again, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I would think if I'm do something off, because he obviously didn't off himself, and I don't think he got off by no drug dealers. I'm sorry, because if he knew he was on a run with drug dealers, I really would have gave the money to family at that point. I don't know, though. I'm just trying to think like, all right, bro, if I was in this situation, I'm not gonna get involved with some random person who's supposed to be my financial advisor. Like, oh, thank you, you can have all this, and I'm gonna die in your place too as well. Sorry, it's just not adding up to me. You may think different. That's cool, but to me, it's not adding up. Oh man, my freaking uncle. And like I said, my story is just petty, but the fact that you do this as a kid is crazy to me. It's basically the same typical story that you hear a lot of comedians say, but a lot of people talk about it. Bro, it was my birthday. I had money on my you know how people put the little money on the bobby pin, whatever, safety pin, whatever it is, safety pin on your shirt, whatever, put all the money on it. So that year, family was loving me. I had 20s, I had 10s, I had dollars right there, whatever, doing my thing, balling that year, right? My uncle come up to me, dude, always drunk though. Oh, I see all your money, boy. Your auntie take care of you. Your mom take care of you. Where you get all this money from? Like, this is my birthday. You know, I'm happy. It's my birthday. I got money. So I'm gonna give you $1 too. He's like, hey, look, how about this? He's like, I'm gonna give you 2, and then I'm gonna take 1 back. Bro, I kid you not. Bro handed me 2 $1 bills, took a 20, did it again. Boy, when I told my mom was so hot. But my mom, one of the people. She's real nice. She's not going to confront you. So what she did was confront my step pops, and then basically that's when all the situation went down. But I'm like, the fact that you do that's crazy, bro. Bro, legit, one day, I kid you not, dog, look me dead in my face. I'm sitting down eating, yum, 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 snacking on my food. He eating his food. It's a piece of hair in mine, like a long piece. This ain't no shiesty move, but this is just ignorant, dog. So I'm like, ugh, it's a piece of hair in my food. He's like, he looked me dead in my face. Not even like a joking, haha, I'm playing moment. Legit. He's like, oh, it's okay, you can eat that. He said, if you eat the hair, the only thing it's gonna do when you swallow, it's gonna come back, go back out and grow back through your head. What's so wrong with this nigga, dog? I kid you not, it was at that moment I knew. I was like, I'm bigger than his family. I love my family. Sorry, love you. I said, I'm better, dog. Better, dog. I'm better, dog. Hey, I don't care what you say. You should think of yourself as better too. Advance, grow in life. I ain't about to stand still. Stop playing with me. I was like, nah, I'm better than this. I'm going to college. I'm gonna meet friends with, from different cultures and enjoy life and shit, dog. I was like, I ain't staying here, dog. That shit was crazy to me. I was, this is legit. This is legit an uncle. Like, you're older than me. You should mature. That's crazy though. Hey, funny stories though, I guess, right? But if you enjoyed the video, man, I'm going to get up out of here. Like I said, you can have your opinions on whatever you feel in the story. That's cool. I'm not here to judge you. Not here to attack you for that. That's cool. But for me watching the video from my perspective, you watching my reaction, you're going to get my reaction. And that's just what I feel like. But go ahead and enjoy your day. Morning, night, whenever you're watching this. As much as I talk, you probably went from morning to night. Hey, but I'm out.